Hey there, friend. Hi, buddy. How's it been going? You need a friend right now more than ever. I so totally get that. I feel you there completely. I totally do. Yeah, sometimes it feels like I need a friend too. Really desperately sometimes. Especially when the loneliness hits. You're feeling that anxiousness now. Those self-incriminating, doubtful thoughts. Those thoughts that you're not good enough. Sometimes I wonder where they stem from, because I feel like during childhood, a lot of times people like our parents, for one of many examples, our teachers or, adults, higher ups, have raised us to believe their fears. And so I think that's where it all comes down. If only they meditated growing up, you know what I'm saying? So now we have to resort to things like pharmaceuticals, natural herbal medicines, and, just to kind of chill the whole anxiety thing. And anxiety really does stem from fear, doesn't it? Are you sure you want me to do all the talking? Okay. Well, I still want to hear what you're going through, but yeah, you just kind of like your leg is jittery and you just feel shaken up and stressed. You don't have your usual coping mechanism. Well, I hope this helps you, but I hope you don't use it as a crutch, because I can't always be there for you. I wish I could, and that's why I'm recording this on a recorder, so that you can play this back when you need to hear and listen to our conversation. You know how fun that is? I actually did that once. I actually recorded a phone call with someone, with their permission, of course, and I played it back when I was in a low mood, and I was like, oh my gosh, we have so much fun together, just the dialogue back and forth, and you begin to notice how you speak and what you think of, how you express yourself. So, well, although that can give someone more anxiety, it's a learning curve, right? But yeah, anxiety is stemming from fear. What do you feel like you're afraid of right now? Just overwhelmed with life. I get it. Short, sweet, and simple. That can happen. And it is not an easy thing to deal with and to occur. And, it's like, yeah, how do I stop my leg from jittering? Or how do I kind of remain in solitude and the calmness of being at peace with myself, right? In the presence of my own company. Do you feel this way more triggered when you're alone or with others? It can be both. All right. So it's not from people. It's from within, right? Yeah. So it's not so much a social anxiety, but just a regular, generalized anxiety, I would say. You feel it generally every day. Okay. And I'm not here to diagnose you, of course. I'm just your friend. We're just having a conversation, an open discussion about what you're going through. Yeah. Well, I used to feel a lot of anxiety, but not anymore, really. I don't know why one day it just kind of stopped, like an off switch, but I guess it's just from experiences in life and kind of realizing things, learning things, and we could be in our 60s and still have it. That doesn't mean that it's just from life experiences, right? But I felt in my spirit it was from that. I no longer needed to fear being alive. I just had an overactive, overthinking mind. And do you feel like you're overthinking often? I'm just, trying to pull the little jigsaw pieces out of the puzzle here. I'm not pinpointing any one thing, not even saying I'm right or wrong, really just kind of talking with you like a friend, and maybe we can figure this out and help each other out together. Does that sound good? Yeah, just a short, sweet, simple chat about this. We don't have to dwell on it too long, because I feel like a lot of times when we talk about things so much, it only overwhelms the feeling of anxiety. So I hope this conversation at least distracts you a bit while I kind of maneuver us out of the subject after a while. and we end things off, and I hit stop record. Do you feel at least a little better being here in company? Okay, good. And I just want to have an open space to invite you to be heard. I'm listening. I'm all ears for you today. And we can maybe go to the mall later and go to Kohl's or something and just look at purses we can't even afford, even for our mother. Yeah, because we don't make enough, right? Oh my gosh, they're so expensive, right? But sometimes it helps, like you go through that Kohl's and you smell the perfume and the colognes and you get overwhelmed by the aromas, and it just does something. It kind of distracts you. And yeah, it kind of does, right? Sometimes we have such a deep focus that we don't allow those things or allow life to distract us or carry us away sometimes, but it's okay to. It's okay to float around freely for a while, you know? You feel like a fear of losing someone. I just felt that downloaded in my spirit. Yeah, you feel like the fear of losing someone. I see your leg jittering more. Yeah, it's probably that. Our body has a way to respond to stress. Not to be your psychologist today, but who is it? Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your uncle. Yes, they're not well. They're in a hospital bed. Okay. See, you were going through so much you even forgot what was the reason you were afraid all along. You last saw them 2 weeks ago. And not to put aside what they're going through, but this could be with anything, right? A boyfriend, a girlfriend, losing a family member, a friend getting mad at you and then you're no longer friends, right? Do you feel like your response to any potential loss of a loved one, situation, or thing you love triggers this every time? If you can think back. Yes. We're just backtracking our memories now and kind of just evaluating, again, creating space, not reliving the memory, not getting so caught up and absorbed we continue the anxiety streak, but we just allow ourselves to acknowledge what we've been through and that we can accept this happened. And it's all a part of the healing process, all part of moving on, even from past trauma, okay? This is all part of the work, and I just want you to let out what you need to let out right now. The first step is acknowledging what occurred, and then we can move on to other paths like forgiveness and such. Yeah. I hope I don't sound too therapist-y, but I'm just your friend here, okay? But I'm using some resources to kind of guide you here. I want you to feel better, to get better. It's not easy as your friend seeing you like this, and I truly want to help you and be there for you at all times, okay? So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for calling me today to be able to do this for you, with you, okay? We're doing this together because we are doing this together. Friend, the funny part is a lot of times people think walking in a therapist's office for an hour will save them, or by some miracle or a relationship they jump into will save them, or someone giving you some eye movement therapy for a while. That all can help, but a lot of times people use these things again as a bandage, as a crutch, as a temporary aid, right? Like a medicine, like a Theraflu, right? When really, yes, it does come from you and only you. We save ourselves, we cure and heal ourselves. And if you believe in higher power, that can also help. But a lot of times people use that as a crutch too, unfortunately. We can only be there for ourselves at the end of the day. That's all we have. We have to realize the God within us, right? You have all the tools you need. You just have to kind of awaken and be aware to it. And it's okay. Sometimes we get lost, right? We get lost along the way, and we have to find ourselves through that lostness, right? Eventually in a dark forest, you're going to find the way out. There's no infinite forest on this planet, right? That never ends. Even the vast Siberian deserts have an end and a border. So, and people have walked through, lived to tell the tale, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of the Gobi Desert too. Yeah, like, it's possible. Anything's possible. You are that person walking through that Gobi Desert and you feel anxious. You feel like it's never going to end. This fear is never going to end. You're always going to feel it. And it compounds because, and not to amplify the emotion, but we, with anxiety, tend to increase the effects of it by constantly focusing on it. The fact that you're even focusing on it rather than focusing on peace, right? It just takes a choice to divert our attention. And I need to emphasize this and remind you that everything we do is a choice. And that choice comes from within, from our heart. Our heart guides us. Is your heart really wanting you to suffer anymore? Is it time to let this go and move on? Do you want to see yourself 10 years from now still shaken up about something you couldn't have prevented? Why torture yourself? It's not worth it, honey. And I see that in you. I see sometimes even the guilt of that. And it's okay. You don't need to hold on to that anymore. There's nothing left here for you to hold on to. That resentment, that anger, whoever hurt you, did you wrong. I know all your history. As your friend, you've told me story after story, time again. You're not going to lose me, okay? If we're the only people left on this stinking dying planet, you know what? That's that. And the planet's not dying. That's a myth. But anyway, that's besides the point. Allegedly. Moving on. But my point is that we are here on this planet nonetheless, dying or not. And we will be in it together, okay, for the long haul. And that's my promise and commitment to you. Don't look back on what someone used to promise you and say, and if they put a ring on it and then they broke your heart, right? That's that fear. That fear is the false evidence appearing real. Okay? It's not reality. It's not you. Fear is false evidence appearing real. All right? It's like you doing a lab experiment, right? And you see the chemicals mixing and then they're acting weird and you're like, something's funky, something's not right, right? And then you do it again and you notice a difference and a change, right? The first time it didn't mix well. That's like with any, let's say, relationship or something, right? Maybe a friendship that went wrong. But the next time it did, right? So it doesn't mean that because the first time it didn't work out doesn't mean the next time the chemicals won't mix. Maybe you accidentally added a bit too much H2O in that beaker tube, vial, cube thing, right? Whatever, beaker, a speaker, I don't know. I'm not a chemist or a scientist, right? So, the Bunsen burner, I don't know, just some random thought coming up. We can laugh off the anxiety. Haha, in your face, anxiety, you don't exist. Sometimes what's helped me is saying, I live a life anxiety-free. I live a life anxiety-free. Or I am anxiety-free. That's all. I'm free of anxiety. I'm free of the burdenous chains of what anxiety once was, what it held me back from accomplishing, and it did. I learned. I suffered. It held me back through so many experiences that I could have possibly jumped into, but let's not live in regret because, everything was meant to happen as it was. And I feel like I got more anxiety the more I tried to do what made me afraid all the time, constantly. And I think sometimes we need to give ourselves some time and moment to let that go and not jump in right away. Like, why encourage someone afraid of sharks to jump in a pool of sharks? It just doesn't work, right? They're going to be scared to death and die anyway, right? Even if the shark doesn't get them. So we want to be kind and compassionate to ourselves and not do that pool of shark thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you ever feel like this, don't feel guilt that you're feeling like this. Focus on the peace of you being like this. Just saying, you know what, this is a part of my life, and you'll naturally let it go and subside it. All right? Remember the false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's an illusion. It's like someone seeing things. They know that it's not there, but it's very strongly convincing that that thing is there. That ghost in the corner, right? Our minds like to play trick on us, and sometimes we just have to shut it up. Yeah. We don't need to be taking anything, doing anything to relieve it. We just need the acknowledgement, the choice to decide, to move on from it, to heal, to say, I don't have to let this control me. And sometimes we let these things hinder us so much, we use it as an excuse to disable us, to make people feel sorry for us. And I'm not saying that's what you're going through, but it's one of many examples we could possibly go through. Okay? So why bother make yourself suffer and endure more trials and tribulations than you already have? Doesn't that upset you? I know it angered me for so long that I was using so many things to hold myself back that I finally had to just let them go. Those demons that were just really trying to reel me back into their world. And I think if we view things through a different pair of eyes, we begin to understand how things work and why we operate the way we do. Okay. Sometimes the solution isn't what everyone else recommends us. You see what I'm saying? We don't always have to take that thing someone tells us to take to make this cured or healed. Have an open mind and question everything and critically think through things before you decide what's best for your life, because I think that will give you the empowerment and the courage, and thus free you of the chains and burdens of anxiety. When you have the choice, when you have the powerful freedom to choose what you do with your life, what you take, who you're with, what you consume, then you let no fear stop you because you're in control. Again, you realize the God within you, the God power. We're not God, but we're part of Source, universe, whatever you believe. So I hope this gave you the courage, inspiration, and motivation you're looking today. Sorry for rambling on, but I just felt I needed to channel you for a little bit, your energy, and just kind of help you get through this moment together, all right? Give me a hug. Come here. Yeah, come here, you. Much better, right? You feel a little bit of uplifting in your spirit. And I had to be a little raw and honest with you. Sometimes we need that push in our spirit, right? We can't just be, it's okay, honey, it'll be okay. Oh, oops, sorry, did I say something that triggered you accidentally? No, that's how we toughen up. We need sometimes to be a little bit triggered, right? To kind of repel or get that negative, bad spirit out of us, that energy that's been holding us back so long. And so it's good for us. It's healthy for us to have that friend to be real and honest with you sometimes. Not to the point where it just constantly offends you or hurts your feelings, diminishes your spirit, but something that will just push you and motivate you to kind of realize the pattern and break the spell of the pattern. Because that's all it is. Everything that we go through, every issue, every labeled thing, is just ultimately a constant cycle and pattern. And that's what typically people like therapists try to do, is to break that pattern, that spell, right? That recurring vicious cycle that and allows someone to end up in a scenario where they need extra assistance. So we've all been there, we've all done that, we've all had to go for extra help. So I know I'm speaking from that point of view as well. So trying to acknowledge and accept that, everyone's in a different position in their life. That's why I say, if you're still going through it, please go. I'm begging you, go. Seek something more than just a friendly word, but I hope this at least is a little small stepping stone ladder for you on the journey to recovery of what you feel you want to accomplish with your life, okay? And I'm cheering you on, wishing you the best. Text me whenever you want. All right, I'll always be here for you. All right, you know what? How about we go get some pizza and ice cream? I'm hungry.